Girivardhari.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to His confounder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. We welcome you, Advaita Krishna Prabhu, to this Srimad Bhagavatam class for today. I'm sorry for the little bit technical issue at the beginning. I will put the verse on the screen and then you can start.
We can start now?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm putting the verse on the screen. We can start.
And we can chant a little bit before, or no?
Yes, we can chant, Prabhuji. You can go ahead.
Okay, we'll continue where we left off. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Radhamanavasta Sakhi Panchatattva Prahlad Lakshmana Shima Bhagavan Ananta Deva Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, welcome. Hare Krishna. Greetings from Croatia. We just landed about an hour and a half ago. It was a little delayed trip from Florida. New York was in gridlock. You know what the gridlock is? Yesterday we were supposed to, actually day before yesterday, we were supposed to catch a flight. But it seemed like everybody was leaving city in the same time. So the trip that was supposed to be like less than an hour, from Brooklyn, for those of you who don't know, from Brooklyn to Newark Airport, it's like less than an hour. It became like over 2.5 hour trip. So they had to reschedule us, and there was a whole ordeal. But here we are, nevertheless. I made it on time to be greeted by the family here and have a little quick lunch that my mother and my sister and my niece prepared. There's no Thanksgiving here. You don't celebrate. And I heard Thanksgiving in Germany. I think it's more of a commercialized thing. But although there was no Thanksgiving celebration, there was some tofu and what resembled a tofurkey. And instead of cranberry, there was some raspberry sweet and some nice spaghetti and very nice pumpkin soup. So that was a welcoming meal. Croatians are very, very hospitable. They're very, especially south. So for those of you who celebrate, those of you in the US and worldwide, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Something that devotees do every day. We give thanks every day. We're grateful. That's the lifestyle of devotees, gratitude. So we'll take a closer look to that and a few other topics or themes that are revealed by Srimad Bhagavatam. If you don't mind, I'll pull up because it's much easier for me to read here.
Okay.
My screen here. I'll just find a verse real quick. So I believe we're on the third canto, chapter 14. Everybody can hear me still?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And you can see me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, because sometimes when I switch screens, you can't see.
Yeah.
All right, so third canto, 14th chapter, entitled Pregnancy of the Deity in the Evening. Text 31. Saviditvatva bharyayas. Saviditatvata viditvata. Savidittvata bharyayas. Savidittvata bharyayas. Tam nirbandham vikarmani. Tam nirbandham vikarmani. Tam nirbandham vikarmani. Natvadishtaya rahasi. Natvadishtaya rahasi. Natvadishtaya rahasi. Tayatope viveshahi. Tayotope paviveshahi. Tayotopa viveshahi. Saviditvatam bharyayas. Tam nirbandam vikarmani. Natvadishtaya rahasi. Tayatopa viveshahi. Do we take turns or anybody wants to try? How do we do?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
Saviditwata yayas tam niribandam kamani natva distayara asi daya tupa vivesai.
Anybody else?
Saviditya tabayayas tam nirbandam vikarmani atmadishtaya rahasi tayato paviveshahi.
Okay. Anybody else?
Kamani Natradipaya Ramasi Tayato Pavitahi.
Okay, word by word. Saha, he. Viditva, understanding. Ata, thereupon. Bharyaya, of the wife. Tam, that. Nirbandam, obstinacy. Vikarmani, in the forbidden act. Natva, offering obeisances. Nishtaya, unto worshipable faith. Rahasi, in secluded place. Taya, with her. Ata, thus. Upaviyesha, lay. He, certainly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, H.P. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Understanding his wife's purpose, he was obliged to perform the forbidden act, and thus after offering his obeisances unto worshipable faith, he lay with her in a secluded place. Purport. It appears from the talks of Kashyapa with his wife that he was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. And although he knew that Lord Shiva would not be pleased with him for such a forbidden act, he was obliged to act by his wife's desire. And thus he offered his obeisances unto faith. He knew that the child born of such untimely sexual intercourse would certainly not be a good child, but could not protect himself because he was too obligated to his wife. In a similar case, however, when Thakur Haridas was tempted by a public prostitute at the dead of night, he avoided the allurement because of his perfection in Krishna consciousness. That is a difference between a Krishna conscious person and others. Kashyapa Muni was greatly learned and enlightened, and he knew all the rules and regulations of systemic life, of systematic life, yet he failed to protect himself from the attack of sex desire. Thakur Haridas was not born of a Brahmana family, nor was he himself a Brahmana, yet he could protect himself from such an attack due to his being Krishna conscious. Thakur Haridas used to chant the holy name of the Lord 300,000 times daily. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakaramayam Darati Swaparantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Understanding his wife's purpose, he was obliged to perform the forbidden act. And thus, after offering his obeisances unto worshipable faith, he lay with her in a secluded place. Hare Krishna. Let me just take a peek in the room, see who is there. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
I hope it's audible enough and there's no distraction or noises on my end.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Loka, Jai Haribo, Loka from Harrisburg. Koteshwara Prabhu from Florida. Narada.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Sriman Braha Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yashoda Devi, Haribol. So many worshipable personalities. I'd beg for your blessings that we might say something that will be in the line of spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada and all of our acharyas, and that will be beneficial to hear as we gather to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam or Shukha Samhita. So with all of your blessings, we'll proceed. This wonderful verse that reminds us of many things, but let us not forget that these things are there just to teach us. We're dealing with great personalities here. Kashyapa Muni and Diti, not ordinary souls. So as mother, the way the mother is teaching her daughter-in-law is by teaching her daughter. So similarly, the Krishna is through his devotees, he's teaching the whole world. In Maharati, they call that Leki Bule Sune Lage. If somebody knows Maharati, that the mother is teaching daughter-in-law by teaching her daughter. So as the daughter-in-law comes in the house, the mother naturally, as a well-wisher of a daughter, is teaching daughter, but the daughter-in-law is exposed to that as well. So through her daughter, mother is able to teach the daughter-in-law. Leki bule sune lage. That's his Maharati. And similarly, Krishna is teaching us by teaching his devotees. Krishna is teaching the world by speaking the Gita to Arjuna. And in this case, Krishna is teaching the world by example of Kashyapa and Diti. There are several points here to unpack, but let's just focus on personalities first because they are great devotees. Kashyapa Muni is one of the most celebrated, influential Vedic sages or munis in a whole creation and the entire devotional history. He's a Prajapati, he's a progenitor of all beings. And sometimes he's also listed as one of the Saptarishis, 7 great sages. It just depends on the yuga and lineage that is referenced. And Diti, his wife, one of his 13 wives that Kashyapa had as a progenitor, not just to humans, devas and asuras, but also to many other species, nagas, birds, reptiles, etc. Through different wives, Kashyapa was able to populate the universe because there was the service. He is grandson of Brahma. So in the beginning of the universe, there was a great need. And he did it as a service to his father and to his grandfather, populating the universe. He didn't do it out of selfish, uncontrolled desire. But something happened in this verse that it's very revealing. Because Diti, although also very celebrated and great devotee, she was definitely a strong-minded mother, but her inability and her evening request changed the entire history of the universe. In this canto, we can see that. It has produced 2 H bombs. 2 H bombs. 2 twins. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Just because of the inauspicious way that they got engaged. So I want to ask you a question in terms of her role. What will be the wife's purpose in anyone's or in any relationship? What would be the wife's purpose? You can easily unmute and contribute. What will be the husband's purpose?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. Of all the married people, here comes Narada Muni.
Yeah, I'm unmarried, but I do know because you gave
He comes the bachelor. Of all the married people, here comes the bachelor.
I do know because you gave an amazing class on it recently that some of the duties of the husband are to make the wife feel safe, and fulfill their needs of like emotional security and also playfulness. I remember really noting down that one. I thought I've never heard it before. Um, and it's a relationship of service. Both the wife serves the husband and the husband serves the wife. And to the fullest extent of that, I don't know. I've never experienced it or seen it. Well, I've seen it, but so I'll let you keep speaking. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else wants to contribute?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shri Advaita Prabhu. I would say the purpose of either the wife or the husband is to help the union bring them much closer and closer to Shri Guru and Krishna service.
Yes. They're both coming together to join forces in service of Guru and Gauranga. It's not that coming with the expectation that the other person will fulfill them, because that would be a disastrous expectation, because we all know there's only one person who can fulfill us or fill that Krishna-shaped void in our heart. It's Krishna-shaped void in our heart. And there's nothing that can actually fill that void except Krishna. So as two individuals come together, it can be very powerful, but it can be very disastrous. Here in this verse, we see example, and again, Krishna is teaching the world through example of great devotees, how disaster it is to succumb to those uncontrolled desires. And we see that although Diti is the one who kind of couldn't do that, but we see that Kashyapa is more spoken as one in fault than her, because it is the husband's responsibility to guide, to lead, to set the proper example. And but one thing is for sure, you can't satisfy those who are unwilling to be satisfied. You can't satisfy those who have no patience. And Diti has shown some of that. I mean, she couldn't wait even 20, well, like one Sunday, 24 minutes. And yet, as a result of pregnancy, you wait like for 9 months. So it's kind of ironic in that sense. But yet, it became more so the fault of his, not of hers, who couldn't control herself, because that happens. But it is rather husband's responsibility. And we see that although he was a great devotee, nevertheless, in contrast and in comparison, as we saw in the purport, somebody who is so knowledgeable, so skillful, yet because he was somewhat an impersonalist, Kashyapa Muni failed in channeling or controlling that sex desire, not just with himself, but also with those around him. Bhaktitirtha Maharaj used to say that not to be in Maya or under the spell of illusion means not allowing others, especially those around us in our immediate environment, to be under the spell of illusion. So it's always service to the community that will bring about upliftment. We are not salvationists per se, but we are servants, community servants, or public servants, as they say. setting a good example is a primary consideration for any public servants. And devotees are public servants. So just knowledge and skill can be a simply disturbance without a good character. Emphasizing good character. And because he has failed to do so, he's offering obeisances to his fate because he felt too obliged to his wife. Just like Bhishma and Dronacharya, they're too obliged to Duryodhana because he was providing their salt, daily salt, or namak. He was financing. So they lost that Brahminical independence. Brahmanas are always independent. So therefore, they can remain as the best public servants that are available. But Kashyapa Muni, although he failed in that way, we see in a contrast the example of Haridas Thakur in a purport, who wasn't a Brahmana, not by birth, at least, but he was a Vaishnava, higher than a Brahmana, by quality, by his character. And although tested by Maya Devi herself, he was able to not only protect himself, but protect herself from herself. He was able to protect Maya Devi from herself by converting her, or should I say, uplifting her, also to the position of a Vaishnavi, just by the association with Haridas Thakur and the association of the holy name. Kali Kala Namarupa Krishna Avatara. Krishna has come in this age of Kali as personified in the form of a holy name. So she, being exposed to the best of association, Haridas Thakur and the holy name, she became transformed. And in a way tricked by Haridas Thakur. Yes, yes, I will fulfill all your... Deny her. He did not deny her. This is very important to note. He says, yes, yes, I will fulfill all your desires. And he did. He fulfilled the deepest of the desires. Desires that she wasn't even aware of. Because everybody is looking for Krishna. And again, in a contrast of DT, what really disturbed DT to come and approach Kashyapa in this way? If you remember from previous verses, and all of you, the students and scholars of Bhagavatam, I'm sure you'll remember what really caused her to come in this state of uncontrolled desire, or kama. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo gunasana. This all-devouring, sinful enemy of this world. How did she came under the spell? Do you remember? She lamented. All these other wives, they have this and this and that. Yeah. But look at me. So she was comparing herself. And as Theodore Roosevelt, one of the American presidents, God bless his soul, he was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's contemporary in the 18th century. He said a very nice quote. He said, comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is a thief of joy. She lost that connection with satisfaction Being satisfied, that is art. It's a great art. But being satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the moment we compare ourselves, we lose touch. We lose that joy or satisfaction. Because we can't. We can't compare. We are who we are, one of a kind, and there will always be somebody greater, somebody lesser than. And that is a fact for everybody. So what is the point of comparing? Just try your best and be satisfied. So because she failed in that, she started comparing. She became out of place, and therefore attacked by the madness of wants. There are needs, and there's also madness of wants. I want this, I want that, and it's endless. There's no end to it. And she might have been feeling lonely too, granted, but all of that, devotees are never lonely. Why? Because they're comfortable with solitude. As devotees, we get to come comfortable with solitude. That's when I said two individuals coming together as a whole, not as a part, expecting that the other person will fulfill them. That is a formula for disaster. We have to become whole, a whole in Krishna consciousness. So, this lust is always lurking around the corner. Bhaktitirtha Maharaj said, every 3 seconds, a mundane person thinks about it. And it's so easily accessible. It's on a pedestal. This burning desire, this all-devouring sinful enemy of the world is on a pedestal, worshipped by so many. Even the wars are fought after it. So many lives are lost. There's a powerful woman, powerful princess, and 2 males, 2 leaders, they go after it with so many lives lost just to win a hand. Why? Because Cupid makes you stupid. You heard that before? Cupid makes you stupid. You forget. There's a bewilderment and the loss of intelligence. We saw that in that sequence, in that krama. Also explained by Krishna in the Gita, how by contemplating the object of the senses, we develop attachment. When that attachment becomes so strong, there's desire. Desire also can become greater and becomes desire that it's out of control. Desire that it's out of control is referred to lust. And there's no turning point. It's already done. The milk has already turned sour. It's past the point of Rubicon. There's no going back. So we have to nip it in the bud. We have to be really conscious and very attentive to what are we contemplating. Because our contemplation will define our entire trajectory, the way we move through life. And as long as we contemplate, how can I serve better Krishna and Krishna's devotees? How can I serve better Guru and Gauranga? How can I be of service? As long as we contemplate in that way, how can I contribute to the spreading of most benevolent movement of Lord Chaitanya all around the world? Lord Chaitanya will surely protect us, just like he has protected Haridas Thakur. The absorption, and this is one of the points is chanting of the holy names. The way we absorbed in the holy names, how serious and how sincere we are as we are calling out the names of Krishna. Not a courtesy japa. You know what courtesy japa is? That is a term coined by, I think I heard it from Mahatma Prabhu first. I was speaking about Mahatma Prabhu. He has just, before I left, I was fortunate to get a copy of, can you see? You can see?
Yes.
Yeah, this is his latest book, Spiritual But Not Religious. Just came out. He was in Krishna House a few days ago, actually last Wednesday. There you go. Beautiful book. You see the,
Yeah.
even the side is very nice.
Yeah.
And the back.
Yeah.
And the inside, you can see the inside, there's illustrations. Very
Yeah.
nice. Beautiful book, printed by BBT in India.
Hmm.
So a little commercial here, but it's a transcendental commercial nevertheless. Beautiful book. He spoke a little bit about it. I'm in the middle of reading it. Yeah, not a courtesy japa, but with our heart, sincerely, with sincerity. Because if you chant with love, you will love to chant. If you chant with love, you will love to chant. So some feeling. Priti Purvakam, with some feeling, not mechanical. We are not bots, especially in time of AI. Everybody's turning into zombies. Sorry, not zombies. We used to be zombies. Now it's worse. We're turning into machines. Not good. But with some feeling. Feeling for who? Feeling for Krishna. Who is Krishna? He's the one who is infinitely fascinating. One who is infinitely fascinating. And Srila Prabhupada compares a heart with a prostitute. They can be corrupt. Heart can be corrupt. The mind is like a fort. And inside the fort, there's a very valuable princess. That princess is the self. Unless we invite Krishna, the supreme warrior, to defend the fort, unless we invite Krishna in our mind, various dacoits and thieves will come and plunder that fort. It will corrupt the self. We can read that in Manashiksha by Raghunath Das Goswami also. The instructions to the mind. We live in a very peculiar, very troubling time. 5.6 billion people are in internet in the world. Almost 6 billion people. That's like a little bit short of everybody. What is it? 2/3? 3/4? 3/4. They're on the internet. You know what that means? All that lust and uncontrolled desire is just a click away. It's a click away with no rock bottom. You can just down spiral to just unbelievable depths of degradation. And it's bringing about rampant addiction too. Okay, here's some stats also. 40 million in US only. 40 million. That's like 10 Croatias together. 10 countries of Croatias together. They're addicted to some kind of social media, or as they call it, CSBD, the compulsive sexual behavior disorder. 40 million. We all need help from Maya's attacks, one way or the other. In more acute ways, less acute ways, but there's a need, there's a tremendous need to bridge the gap between Bhagavatam and the real-time struggles. There's a need to help people in the most practical ways. And that's why you see more and more of these bhakti recovery groups. It's not just alcohol and substance abuse. There's all kinds of addictions out there. People addictions to just small or big screens. Unregulated habits. Eating disorders, I mean, all kinds. So there's a great need for these support groups. Okay, I'm looking at the time. I did not set my alarm, unfortunately, but I do want to, we started a little late, and I want to leave some time for comments or questions. So I want to check in and see if there's anything. I guess, Sahadev, you are facilitating, so you will let me know if the screen shuts off and you can't see me anymore, or if there's any questions or comments in the chat. Or we can just open up right now and see. If not, I can keep going and wrap it up.
Hare Krishna. Well, there is no question in the chat room. If you want to wrap it up, you may do that, and then if the devotees have questions, which I believe some do, then
okay. Yeah. No, we can see, because I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
That's always.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Greater value. Please. Any comments or questions at this point?
Well, Narada Muni, please you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. It's been very enlivening. I was thinking about you mentioned something about impersonalism, and I was just wondering how impersonalism played into this situation of DT and Kashyapa. Like, how would you tie that word into what happened?
So yeah, Kashyapa was a great devotee, but he was a little bit on the impersonal side. So not attending in our devotional service in a way that will engage all of our senses, and in a way that will be done in a sangha of devotees where we discuss these things, because discussion of these kind of things is as good as kirtan. Why? Because it supports kirtan. Revealing our mind, revealing our mind, or confession, and to admit to err is human, to admit that we have 4 defects, is the beginning of that personal approach to Krishna. Impersonalists, they're trying in a different way. And that is explained in the Gita also, that that way is very, very troublesome, because it's unnatural, it's artificial. To deny desires, to deny the senses, it's not beneficial long term, and it doesn't really solve the root cause, which is ultimately the envy of Krishna. So admitting our insignificance, admitting and accepting that we're not trying to be great, we're trying just to follow the great ones, is the beginning of that, is the start of that other, more personal approach, where we're going to accept the process of Acharya Pasana, worship of the Acharya, or taking shelter of devotee that we trust and we feel comfortable. Impersonalists, they might do that, but again, they remain in a center. The real transformation never really takes place. They will even accept the guru, but only for the sake of salvation, and then as soon as goal is achieved, guru is rejected. So that is the weakness or weak point of that approach. And it's very troublesome too. You know, the dry renunciation, the dry austerity. Not being able to admit our shortcomings, not even admit the importance of mentors, but in a deep sense, in a deep devotional sense. Being able to share with not only with our mentors and our seers, but even with our peers, without fear of being judged or shunned or shamed. This is very important, that we carry that culture, that will be each other's brother or sister keeper. We'll be each other's support system as we are going through the process of Anartha Nivritti. Thoroughly going through the process of Anartha Nivritti. There's no shame in the game. There shouldn't be. And all the support and all the well wishes to others should be in place, no matter how big is the struggle. Srila Prabhupada was very fond of exemplifying that, because sometimes even during Prabhupada's time, devotees will fell away, lose the contact with devotees, and then they will reappear after a year or 2 or 3. I think it was, who was it? One devotee was Prabhupada's personal cook. He went away for a few years and then he reappeared. And Prabhupada was very happy to see him. He was all overgrown, beer, and back in his hippie ways. Forgetting his name now, but anyway, Prabhupada was very happy to see him, and he invited him to, please, you come tomorrow, come cook for me. And devotees were leaning on to whisper to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, but he's not chanting, he's not following anything, he's not in a good standing. Prabhupada said, never mind, let him come. We have to find ways in our heart to, it's anasuyave, it's free of envy, always remaining well-wisher and servant and supportive of devotees, no matter how great the struggle is, because we also struggle, and you get mercy when you give mercy. So in these kind of ways, it's very different.
Oh, Prabhu, your screen is off.
Yeah, your video.
Thanks for pointing out. Let me fix that. How's that?
Good.
Haribol. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you, Prabhu, for that answer. Another thing that you said that I just wanted to bring up again is I really love your point about comparison and how DT was impersonal in that way, and she made a comparison and how it led to a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah. And another thing, about Kashyap, also, if you read the whole section, not just one verse, but the whole section, he was upset. He was angry. He was not as peaceful as Haridas Thakur. So impersonalists in general, they're weaker than devotees because they never work for others. They always work for him or herself. There's always some kind of self-centeredness. And the best self-interest, of course, is to put ourselves at service of great souls. Acharya Pasana.
Thank you so much, Narada Muni. Hare Krishna, I have one quick question for you. Are you a disciple of the
Are you
speaker?
ready? Yes, he's my guru.
Yes. So I think we met at Gidanagri once or twice.
Yeah.
That's how I remember you. So ideally, being a disciple, you address your guru as Guru Maharaj, not Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Usually he does. He does.
Okay.
I just didn't want to embarrass him.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's doing the great service right now.
I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you for accepting this correction, even though you already do it. Madhavan Prabhu, please, you be on mute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. All grace unto the My question is this untimely sexual intercourse, especially within a married couple looking for a child. The principles, is it still applicable in this age that one should not have intercourse in the evening to beget a very favorable child? Is it still applicable this time? Or is it just because Kashyapa Muni is a disciple of Shiva, and that's why the principles apply?
Okay. Did you get his question?
Yeah, could you reiterate, Sahadra?
His question, a very beautiful one, is that Kashyapa Muni and Diti, they met. It is said that they met at an inauspicious time in the evening.
Yes.
Is that still applicable in our age? That concept that meeting your wife in the evening and expecting a child, because, well, of course, it says like when you meet your wife, it's because you're looking for conception. Now, does that still apply in our modern age that married couples, especially looking to have kids, should not meet in the evening? Or this applied to Kashyapa because he was a disciple of Lord Shiva himself?
Oh, for the auspicious progeny.
Yes.
Or for the I call it progeny by design. There is a way to plan and regulate, and also secure the auspicious way of invoking a good progeny. So I call it progeny by design, not by chance or accident, where two individuals, a future mother and future father, come with the pure intentions. They go to what is called Garbhadana Samskara. what is it, 50 or 60 rounds. There are ways to secure good progeny, although in a mature world, nothing is really secure. So you get the demigod, and then you expect demigod to take full advantage of Lord Chaitanya's movement, but then we also know the demigods are very much so into sense gratification. So sometimes you see it's a mixed bag. Although they're attracted by movement of Lord Chaitanya, they're also very sensual. Some children are like that. But nevertheless, the power of Lord Chaitanya's movement is always, it always becomes victorious when there's exposure to it, or proper exposure to it. So yes, the parents are responsible for that, and they are procedures to follow. Now the details of it, because I don't have children, the details of it I wouldn't know. I never really investigated, but I'm sure there's many wonderful, even on this call, there's many wonderful devotee parents who can guide you in that. But yeah, it's not left to a chance. There is a procedure, and it's mainly revolving around chanting of the holy names and the serious application of japa, which is the Yuga Dharma Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you for the response.
We have to prepare our consciousness because it's a rather intense activity. So we have to prepare our consciousness so we don't get carried away by the sensual waves. But we do it as a service and also with affection. That's another thing. Affection is very important. We don't want to do it as robots or senseless beings, but with some also pretty purvakam. Important.
Well, thank you. I have this to share. I'm sorry to share this, but I am very much sincere of what I'm about to say. This Govardhan Samskar, which is chanting lots of rounds, I think it's 60 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it once when I became a grihasta, and of course, wanted to have a wonderful progeny like your humble grace just said. So I followed this Govardhan Samskar. I chanted 60 rounds. That's my first time ever chanting 60 rounds in a day. And after that, the desire disappeared like a bird with wings.
What's the point? Yeah, what's the point?
So I said to myself, never again.
And that's the point. Desire became purified.
Yes. I only pray to Guru and Krishna. Well, I might not be able to do this to render this service or whatever, but somehow I must say, I'm not saying that people should not follow the Govardhan, but I'm quite happy with the kids I have, even though I did not follow the Govardhan, because like I said, I tried it, and the desire to engage in the act left me for almost weeks, not just one day. So everybody is different, but others might be able to do that. But thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing, Guru. Thank you for sharing.
Another Prabhu, please see me on mute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, Sadhu Prabhu, as a matter of etiquette, I saw Prabhu, Shimavara Prabhu's hands up. So, please, I think allow him first.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. Shimavara Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Just a quick contribution from and Prabhu, you rightly mentioned that in progression, design progression, yes, there are procedures. So you mentioned Gabadana Samskara. But then there are actually specific hours that are recommended. So the Bhagavatam says evening, and don't know when that hour starts, but according to some authority, between 9 and 12, it's not considered 9 p.m. and 12 midnight. It's not considered. And best time is considered between 3 in the morning and 5 a.m. because that's Mangarati time. So that is for the time given. But now when they say the evening, so we don't know what time it starts from, but usually that early night period is considered not to be very for diving savage night. And also that is in the Vedic, in African tradition also, there is the belief that copulation during the daytime will bring well, some believe that that is the reason why albinos are gone, but we don't know whether that is scientifically proven. But there is also a belief in the African tradition that the hours of copulation can influence the type of child that is found. So that's just the contribution. Thank you.
Prabhu, you were breaking up a lot, but if you may repeat the appropriate hours according to the Vedic, and then the inappropriate. I heard you say the appropriate is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., which is like Brahma Muhurta. And then the inauspicious, you said 9 to 12 p.m.?
9 p.m. to 12 midnight. 9 p.m. to 12 midnight is considered inauspicious.
Yeah, so if that is the case, that will be considered night. But in the case of Kashyapa and BT, it says evening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's right. But anyway, the thing is, we can make research about this. There are specific hours given for, I think even in our Samskara book. If you have anyone at the Samskara book, you can check it. There also it is mentioned the hours that are auspicious.
Okay. Okay.
It was during the evening sandhya, and Kashyapa was just in the middle of his, brahminical duties that are performed during sandhya. So that's why it was inauspicious, because during the sandhya, nothing like that can happen. Sandhyas are reserved exclusively for spiritual activities. That's why he said, just wait, but she couldn't. And he felt...
If I'm not mistaken, I think Narashrama also appeared in Sandhya, right? During Sandhya.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But for further details, I'm sure if Harachakra is on a call, he has come up with some amazing Krishna conscious children. I'm sure he has all the good formulas.
I agree with you.
And Yashoda. They can give seminars and workshops.
They have some secrets.
Yes. So I would direct devotees to them.
Well, Anadi Nidanam, do you have another question, or is the previous hand raised?
Yeah, actually, I have a question, but it looks like my seniors are still raising their hands. So
Go
if you
ahead.
don't mind, you can still take.
Sorry, you did not even ask your question.
No, but I
I
see
know.
Govinda Prabhu is also raising hands, so you can take Govinda Prabhu
At
as well.
least we should hear your question.
Yes.
Just say.
Prabhu? Okay. So, Prabhu, my question is, based on what Sarade Prabhu said, that he tried following the Gavadana Samskara, but the desire left as a result of that. So is it possible for one to be a Grihastha and remain pure and still perform his Grihastha duties very diligently? I'm asking this because in one of Prabhupada's purport relating to Kadamba Muni and Devahuti Mataji, Prabhupada says that Kadamba Muni, he was pure. So as a result, he has to came to the position of passion before he was being able to lay with his wife. So is it that easy for one to remain pure in devotional service and still perform his grihastha duties very diligently? I don't know if my network is very audible.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a beautiful question. And I've filed it in. But let's hear. You said there's some other Govinda Prabhu. Was that a hand or?
Yeah. So do you want to take his question first, or you
Yeah,
want
I thought.
to go first?
I would say in short, I would say it is not easy, but it's possible. And that's why usually they say a good brahmachari would make a good grihastha. Not always the case, but it helps. It helps to gain control and find ways to engage our senses fully in Guru and Gauranga service and become situated in Brahman, because that's what brahmachari means. One whose achar is in Brahman, one who knows how to connect everything in service, one who has developed a service attitude. That will create a good character and good predisposition for good grihastha. Not always, but helps. That's my short answer. Not easy, but possible, yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so Shri Govinda Prabhu, please give me a mute then.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
My
Krishna.
respectful obeisances to you, Maharaj. And thank you very much for your wonderful presentations always. Your in-depth is so great. Your realization, the scriptures, and your explanation and presentation are always very wonderful. And thank you very much, and thank Gurudev for empowering you, for you to empower us. Thank you.
Thank you, Govinda.
My question is,
That was
yeah.
Advaita-ACARYA Prabhu. Govinda Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is about this samskaras to attract devotees into this world. I'm just wondering, yes, that's what the scripture says we should do to be able to attract great souls. But I'm just wondering that our fathers, forefathers, you see a lot of powerful, devotees in our movement become gurus like yourself and many others. Most of them, the parents were not devotees at all. They were not chanting. They were not following any rules or regulations. So I'm just wondering how were they able to attract these devotees if the samskaras are the answer to this question, the question of bringing great sages by performing all these rituals before the act, then how come that there are great souls, great devotees, gurus, sannyasis, brahmacharis? The fathers were not devotees. They were meat eaters and drunkards and doing all kind of things, but were able to attract devotees. So how is it possible? Is it because they carry this karma from their previous life? Is it because they already have a link or a relationship to the attracted children in the family? Or I just don't know. Can you help?
Yeah, the mercy flows in all kinds of ways. Yeah, Guru carries the potency of parampara. It's the potency of Nityananda, Balaram, Srila Prabhupada, all of our Guru Vargyas. And with that potency lays the power of transformation. So very similar, equal potency is there in the hands of a parents who decide for that intentional progeny by design. So sometimes students or disciples are also considered as children, spiritual children. So similar Shakti or energy or power is involved. It's the power of transformation. And this is the whole point. 3 points actually that come up for me in this verse as well. Is that first point is power of the holy name. Nam namakari bahudani sarva shaktis. And Krishna has invested all of his potencies in the holy name. How often we are aware of that? How often we meditate on that? All of his potencies. So there's a power, there's absolute power in the holy name. Krishna, Prabhupada actually talks about holy name as activating force of everything. Holy name is the activating force of everything. A second point that came for me in the verse or in a section today is that Srimad Bhagavatam is not black and white. There are complexities, there are nuances. because we see that, and that's a third point also that came up for me, that we see that our slip-ups, as we see here, and our setbacks can become a silver lining if we are like DT. Because she transformed. She has realized after the fact, and she has shown that in late, it's coming up in the verses 44 and 45. Actually, let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. What was her mentality? And actually, as a result of that mentality, so it's not a mistake to make a mistake, but rather not to reflect and to repeat one would define a mistake. But this is the mindset that she had, and that ultimately invoked Prahlad Maharaj in a whole, pandemonium of 2 H bombs, 2 twin demons. But listen how she felt in 44. Sorry about a spoiler, but because this is Kashyapa speaking to her. He said, because of your lamentation, that's number 1. So she lamented. Penitence or penance and proper deliberation. So 3, there's a 4th one. So lamentation, penance. So we have to kind of regret and repent and deliberate on our mistakes. Just reflect on and being able to admit that this was wrong. But also maintain the unflinching faith. This is the 4th one, very important. Unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One of the sons, Prahlad, of your son, Hiranyakashipu, will be an approved devotee or empowered devotee of the Lord. And his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the personality of God. So this is the silver lining. In any of our situations, any of our predicaments, we can maintain that silver lining if we properly deliberate on situation and correct the course. So I would say that applies equally to parents and those who are spiritual, engage in spiritual parenting or as mentors and spiritual guides.
Yeah, you just hit one point I was meditating on. Bring it up, Prahlad Maharaj. I asked this question, and my answer to this question to myself, which I was not very sure, and I wanted a confirmation. That's why I asked the question. That the unsuccessful yogis are allowed to again participate in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. So I was thinking that the parents that are giving birth to devotees might have been devotees themselves in their previous lives. And because they were unsuccessful, the karma is arranged that their offsprings will become devotees and liberate them. So Prahlad Maharaj became a devotee, became a son of Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu himself was a devotee in his previous life.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave birth to Prahlad for Prahlad to liberate him, even though he was such a big demon. And so I was contemplating on this point. And that's why I asked the question for confirmation. That This lifetime, our parents were not devotees at all. So how possible that they can give birth to gurus and sannyasis and to all these devotees around the world? That's why I asked the question, that were they maybe probably devotees from their previous life, and the Krishna has to arrange for their offspring to become devotees and then liberate them.
Yes. In any case, it is the mercy received previously or presently. In any case, it is the mercy. We see Prabhupada goes back and forth. We see how Prabhupada goes back and forth, and sometimes he sees his disciples as he would address them as, you were all sent to me to help me, sent by Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. Sometimes he would say like that, and sometimes he would say, you have not done anything. I have created your good fortune. So both things. We see both things are there, expressed. And they can simultaneously both be true. Again, I try to tend to avoid this black and white approaches, but rather, why not? Both can be true. The Prabhupada has created their good fortune, and he also saw them as someone sent by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati to help him. They can, from where I'm standing, they can both coexist simultaneously.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Shri Advaita Prabhu. I believe, like what you just said, that yes, both instances are possible, because Sri Prabhupada went back and forth at different times. But I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think particularly in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, Krishna did not arrange, or nature did not arrange, that Prahlad be born to Hiranyakashipu to liberate Hiranyakashipu, because it was already designed. When they fell as Jai Vijay, they were given two options, and those two options had nothing to do with Prahlad. That is my understanding. But it could be the case in other scenarios, but particularly with Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, it was already arranged that they're going to take birth as demons 3 times, and then they will end their curse. That's my thought. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prahlad was a catalyst.
Yeah.
For all of that, and that was all, of course, Narada Muni's fault.
I hope it's not Narada Muni Das.
No.
Okay.
The original, the OJ.
Yeah. Well, Prabhuji, in fact, I am very grateful that you could be here to speak with us, because you just landed about 90 minutes ago. There must certainly be a jet lag. And
no jet lag was felt in this call.
Well, we thank Guru and Krishna, but we would also prefer that you take some break and some rest. We need to see you very active always. So I think Anadi Diradam has one more question or something to say, and after that we may bring this to a close. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And in fact, my apologies to you in particular and to the devotees. I was having a little bit of difficulty logging in today. So there was a little bit of technical issues at the beginning. But our apologies. And ADVAITA Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
I think that's all.
I think that's the old hand.
Or maybe it's in.
Or maybe it's in.
Yeah.
Is there?
Prabhu, am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity once again. So, Prabhu, you mentioned something in answering to Govinda Prabhu's question that it is not a mistake to make a mistake. So, when Lord Shiva, he made a mistake by giving the boon to one demon.
Banashura.
Pardon me?
Banashura.
Yes. That when you touch anybody's head, the head will blast, and right after the bone, he would like to try it on Lord Shiva. He has to run all over the whole world until Lord Vishnu came in. But the same Shiva, when Prajapati Daksha made a mistake by not inviting him, he went and scattered his arena. And to err is human. Why is it so? Is it that Shiva is unpunishable? I don't know if my question is clear. Because he made mistake and Vishnu had to come to his rescue. But someone else made a mistake, he scattered his arena. In fact, he destroyed all the followers who were even innocent of the whole show. So I would like you to address this, having said that it is not a mistake to make mistakes. Hare Krishna.
When great personalities act, they can do all kinds of things. Lord Shiva is definitely a great personality, and he is above our preview of judgment. Shiva is the greatest of devotees, very powerful, and we need to reflect not just on him, but any powerful devotee, that our job is to follow and not to imitate. So in following Lord Shiva or any great devotee, we reflect on instructions, and instruction is always very, very similar. Jiva Doya, Nam Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva. So what Shiva has done in both cases, it's completely within the framework of those, I would call them supreme instructions. He was showing mercy, but in different ways. And the way things are corrected by those who represent Dharma, sometimes is harsh, sometimes is soft, and sometimes is by their own example. So it is not, again, it is not impersonal. It's very nuanced. It's very complex. So but one has to look at with the prism and with the optics of those main instructions that are there for humanity. How one will carry it, in the case of great personalities, they have a liberty to carry the way they choose to carry. But in our case, we have to carry in a way that we make sure we follow in the footsteps of those who are ahead of us. Lord Shiva is a very unique, and it's in its own category. Also, the head of Sampradaya, and is a Vaishnava, nevertheless, the greatest. So in case of Daksha, he has shown mercy in that way.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear devotees, we have a few quick announcements. If I'm not mistaken, I think 3 days ago, today is Thursday, Tuesday, was the birthday of our beloved brother, nephew from Sadhvita Prabhu. So we wish him belated happy birthday. From Sadhvita Prabhu, belated happy birthday. Hare Krishna. 2, we lost one great devotee. Some of you in West Africa may not know him that well, but this devotee's name is Vakrishwara Pandit Prabhu. He was a mentor to so many of us, especially those of us here in the States. He served Gurudev so much as if he were a disciple, but he was a god brother. He was with Gurudev for so long, Gurudev's last days. I mean, Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj. He was not doing well, so we went to visit him about 2 months ago. And 2 days ago, we heard that he left his body. It doesn't hurt devotees praying for his safe transition, but his transition is really taken care of by Srila Prabhupada. But like I said, it doesn't hurt devotees also praying for his smooth transition. So please, we should remember our days are numbered. And like Mother Kunti said, Padam Padam Yadu Padam. Every step there is day. So we should try to make as if today is our last day, so that when it does happen, there will be no regrets. So again, our big brother is Grace ADVAITA-ACARYA Prabhu. Thank you so much. Usually when I request the devotees to speak, sometimes it's very difficult for me because I see the inconvenience lots of devotees have to take to speak Bhagavatam. But it's also a service. It's a service which is not very interesting, but I'm rendering that service at the moment. So I know you understand and you appreciate it. Again, sincerely from me, my apologies.
Apologies for what? I'm uplift. This sangha is uplifting me, and I am so grateful that you are all showering and purifying my consciousness just by your presence.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you. That's your kindness. Dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all, with one love, one heart, one voice, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker, Grace ADVAITA-ACARYA Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all today. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
All Christ is grace and ADVAITA-ACARYA PRABHU ki jai.
Jai.
All glories to her grace, Kalindi ki
Doctor.
jai. All Prabhupada ki jai.
Oh, okay. You have one here.
Nanda
Okay.
Goti Vaishnava ki jai.